Good day, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm excited to present to you another video. The focus of this particular video is on this popular idea that we see rampant in the media of fake news. Fake news came to the forefront, especially during the 2016 presidential election, largely because one of the candidates was essentially arguing that the media was out to get him. I'm talking about Trump. And the mainstream media in particular was spreading lies and propaganda to kind of distort reality and distort the truth. And these claims that there is an abundance of fake news in the media has not really gone anywhere. We see the same individual I just mentioned, as well as various figures on the political spectrum continuing to claim and argue that the media is kind of out to get them through fake stories. Now, politics aside, fake news is also running rampant, but not in light of political hits or political attacks, but rather fake news in terms of the coronavirus, which adds a completely kind of different dimension to the impact of fake news, because while a politician may argue that a news story about, let's say, some nefarious relationship with the foreign government or a lobby is nefarious and all this stuff, with the coronavirus, fake news can literally lead to someone's death. So it's a completely different ballgame here, and this is what we're going to explore today. A recent BBC article by David Robson caught my eye, and Robson examined why, quote, smart people have fallen for the dangerous lies that are spread about the coronavirus. And let me remind you early in this video that spreading misinformation about the coronavirus has a real impact. In Iran, people have died from drinking industrial strength alcohol based on the false claim that it could protect them from COVID-19. We had another set of Americans who took the wrong kind of advice from President Trump on a so-called medicine to cure them of the coronavirus, and they fell really ill.
Turn now to the growing number of hoaxes that are popping up online, from false claims about treatments to fake headlines about celebrities who might have it. These are stories that are spreading fast. Will Reeve is here with more on this. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Cecilia. These are uncertain times for so many people. And as we all learn more about the coronavirus, there are bad actors out there. They're muddying the waters, trying to scam people, with officials around the country alerting the public and fighting back.
This morning, as the number of coronavirus cases increases in the United States, so too do internet scams and hoaxes. Like this fake BBC Twitter account falsely claiming Harry Potter star Daniel Radcliffe had tested positive for COVID-19.
Not Slytherin, not Slytherin.
Radcliffe says he was surprised when he heard the rumor, joking,
I think it's just because I look ill all the time, so you can believably say it about me because I'm very pale.
And after actor Tom Hanks announced he and his wife Rita Wilson had contracted the virus, Twitter blew up. 20,000 plus retweets of this photo of Hanks quarantined with a volleyball, a nod to his character in Castaway. But the photo isn't real. It's edited from a picture of Hanks at a 2015 New York Rangers game. On Facebook, fake posts offering tips from doctors, like this one claiming to be from a Stanford Hospital board member, going viral, offering this self-test for people, telling them to hold your breath for more than 10 seconds, saying if they have no discomfort, that basically indicates no infection. That's been debunked, Stanford saying it did not come from them. Officials are warning the public not to fall for fake cures peddled by some companies and individuals, possibly trying to scam consumers with their claims. Earlier this week, the FTC and FDA issued warnings to 7 companies accused of selling unapproved or misbranded products, claiming they can treat or cure COVID-19 with teas, essential oils, and colloidal silver. Televangelist Jim Baker received one such warning for offering an $80 silver solution he advertised as a treatment for coronavirus, even though there is not yet a known vaccine. And conspiracy theorist Alex Jones received a cease and desist letter for hawking unproven products from New York Attorney General Letitia James, one of several she and other states' attorneys general have issued in recent days to people they say are selling unproven products.
And rumors have been circulating on social media that mass transit in New York City would shut down. That rumor was so rampant, the New York Police Department Twitter account had to address it, saying, quote, "There's a lot of misinformation on social media. One tweet in particular is false. Contrary to what it says, there are no plans by the NYPD to shut down roadways or subways." But so everyone should stay
I
vigilant
had
on
people
that.
stopping me on the street yesterday asking if that rumor was true. It was everywhere.
It's amazing how one starts somewhere and it just
Spreads so
spreads
fast.
so
Text, email, Facebook, Twitter, it's everywhere.
And perhaps it's remarkable and alarming that this misinformation about the coronavirus is relatively rampant. A YouGov and Economist poll from March 2020 found that 13% of Americans believed that COVID-19 was a hoax. So not that COVID-19 was not a threat or that it was not dangerous, that it was literally a hoax. Another 49% of Americans in that poll believed that the COVID virus was man-made, like in a lab, you know, like scientists like, and then boom, and then we spread it. So that's floating around there as well. If you're interested in learning how some of these myths can be busted, check out the World Health Organization website. They have a myth-busting page, which should really be standard reading for most people in the world. Another important matter that we see developing in light of the spreading of conspiracy theories is how social media outlets are taking control of their own platforms and how they are essentially banning certain conspiracy theories from taking foot on their sites. YouTube has recently cracked down on David Icke, the popular British conspiracy theorist, who in a recent interview said that the coronavirus symptoms are linked to 5G networks. Twitter, on the other hand, appears to have taken a different approach. According to a recent study released by Oxford University researchers, more than half of the misinformation about the coronavirus pandemic that has been debunked by fact checkers remains on Twitter's platform without any warning label, a record that puts it far behind rival social media platforms. This Oxford study examined 225 pieces of content that independent fact checkers had rated as either false or misleading over the span of 3 months, January, February, and March of 2020. The Oxford researchers found that 59% of that material remained on Twitter versus only 27% on YouTube and 24% on Facebook. Now, for me personally, this is a bit disheartening because I use Twitter professionally to share my own research, and it kind of upsets me a little bit that Twitter is not taking more stringent measures to crack down on the spread of this fake news. We know that it can be deadly, and I think that Twitter should make a move here. Another article by Politico points to the use of fake news on a much larger macro geopolitical scale. We do know that the Chinese Communist Party has recently accused the United States itself of creating the coronavirus, essentially as a weapon or a tool to inflict harm not only on the world, but China itself. Let me also be clear here that I'm not kind of picking on China. Many governments in the world, the United States included, engages in various forms of propaganda and fake news itself. So I'm not isolating China on this one. I'm just using this specific example to point to a larger case of geopolitical fake news. Major media outlets like the Global Times, which has 1.7 million followers on Twitter, People's Daily, which has 7.1 million on Twitter, China Daily, which has 4.3 million on Twitter, and then the China Global Television Network, which has 14 million, all shared this idea that the United States created the coronavirus, again, as a weapon. That's a lot of people that it's hitting. And that's potentially dangerous, especially in light of fostering stronger relations between China and the US, which are not that great at the moment. So I have some questions for you to ponder. And again, feel free to take these questions in any direction you wish. They're merely there to kind of guide you, to get your mind opening a little bit, to think about the various themes raised in this video itself. So one question for you to consider: why are fake news stories appealing? A second question: how do purveyors of fake news make their message feel, quote, truthy? And with this question, and indeed the first one, you may want to bring up some specific examples that you've dug up in your own research. A third question has to do with a statement that I would like you to either agree or disagree with, or maybe take a position in between. And the statement reads as follows: the more often we see something in our news feed, the more likely we are to think that it's true, even if we were originally skeptical. Do you believe in this claim? Let me know. And fourth, what can people do to decipher fake news from real news? And with this question, I'm really interested in hearing about this kind of imaginary methodological process that you would hypothetically engage in if you were to embark upon a mission of deciphering whether something is fake or real. Bring us through like a process. What does this process look like from A to Z? Hopefully this video pointed out and indeed maybe even reminded you of this kind of alarming nature of fake news and the consequences that it can have. I hope you all are staying safe in body, mind, and spirit. And in terms of your mind, if you're floating out there on the internet every day, which I'm assuming many of you are, definitely be careful of those fake news stories, and especially the conspiracy theories. Thank you all so much. Take care.